Right. So what I'm going to talk about today is it's kind of leading up to a performance by Christine and Susan in Parklife. Now, all the clips are very short, but I thought it'd be worthwhile just showing just some of the background as to how a little drama group like this starts off and where it goes. And I'd be interested in your comments on it, because I think it's great what's happened, but I've also got sort of criticisms too, which I think is fair enough. People have different views and things. So this is the story of the, as far as I can make it from the things that I've saved and whatever, and the pictures that I've taken, the videos I've taken of the. Now it all goes, from my point of view, it goes back to this play by the Box of Tricks Theatre. Has anybody heard of the Box of Tricks Theatre? It's based in Manchester, which I didn't know, and they did they specialize in plays where they say celebrating Northern talent. Our productions are staged in theatres locally and nationally, as well as in public spaces, pubs, libraries, village halls in the heart of local communities, which I think is really interesting. And this is a one that was written by Becky Prestwich in 2016, and it was called Chip Shop Chips, which is a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it, if you try and say it very fast? Chip Shop Chips.
Oh yeah. Chip Shop Chips.
And this was the performance at Chorlton Good Neighbours. And what I thought the brilliant thing about this was, first of all, it was in Chorlton Good Neighbours, and at the interval, somebody's gone out to get the orders for everybody's fish and chips. I mean, that to me is ideal. A play together with fish and chips. What's not the price of the ticket?
How long ago was this, Bernard?
It was performed in Chorlton Good Neighbours in March 2018. No, and I just thought it was brilliant, and it just gave me a new view of what plays could be in a different kind of way, and I thought it was just really good. Here's my fish and chips, half eaten on the night. They also gave us pieces of paper to make hats out of. You know how the old newspapers used to be used for fish and chips, and so this this is something I thought was a very good hat he made out of it.
Love it, love it.
And this is part of the play where it's to do with somebody coming back to the fish and chip shop and a romance, and you can see the guy who's serving at the end. I thought it was fantastic, and it went down really, really well. Right, so that I don't know whether it had an influence on developing this, but I know I was involved in helping to start up the Chorlton Good Neighbours drama group. And one of the things that we did was a series of workshops following this Chip Shop Chips. And anybody recognize anybody there?
Andy. Looks like Gordon.
No,
Gordon.
No, there's no Gordon there. That's
Andy. Andy.
There's one of Andy, and there's one of me on the right.
And you, and there's Val. Oh, there's Val. Yeah.
There's Val. Yes, yes. And there's me leaning down on the right as well. And he did a workshop together with several other practitioners who did workshops with us, which were very well attended. And this led on to Lovechester 70s. What are you doing Sunday, baby? And that's the cast. And as you can see, I'm playing the vicar, which I played as an Irish priest, Father Pat, because I like trying my Irish accent, which doesn't hold very well. So, this shows a bit of it, hopefully. And this is a bit about the background to performing Lovechester. And this is a video done by one of the volunteers, who's really good. Living in Chorlton most of my life. For most of that, I'd never heard of Chorlton Good Neighbours. you find that it's now been going over 50 years. It's had an enormous effect on Chorlton and the range. It's only when you get really involved you understand the breadth of the activities that people are involved in.
I'm interested in how people who are older can get a route into theatre, just a personal interest. And all these things kind of came together because I was already involved through Helen with Chorlton Good Neighbours. I suggested the idea to her, its workshops, and she just took to it so warmly and positively. Chorlton Good Neighbours are so open to ideas like this, which help particularly older clients they have to get more out of life.
Having been involved in Good Neighbours for quite a long while, I thought that this was a very new way of getting to know people. And you get to know people in a very different kind of way than you would in any of the other activities that Good Neighbours puts on. And I think everybody's felt that. It's led to a very strong sort of bonding. We feel like we're a company.
I've got out of the project a stretching of my boundaries. I've taken on something that I've never really done before.
Oh, look at Tony.
Indeed.
As you get older,
He's been in it a long time.
save your vegetation.
Like his tash.
Mm.
I've never done drama before these workshops, so I've occasionally thought about it, but the thing that stopped me was that I was disabled, and I thought disabled people couldn't do acting because you kind of typecast. So I'd never got involved before, and I think it's slightly weird, but only in my 70s I had the courage to do this, and mainly because it's in Good Neighbours where I feel very much at home.
Well, I've gained more confidence because
Oh, that's Jenny.
a little bit more, because I didn't go out for quite a few years because I had a fall, and now I'm starting to get out a bit more. The drama did that for me. Went out with Michelle a bit more.
The play is a silly 70s sitcom which revolves around a philanderer who's promised to marry 5 different women who all know each other. And when he does get married, it all comes to a fall. And I love the fact that they've contributed so much to it. I wrote the kind of basic script, but people are coming up with so many funny ideas and enhancing it. And I think it's as much theirs as mine. And I love the fact that it's happening.
I play the wedding singer. I sing a total of 2 songs. What Are You Doing Someday, Baby? And SOS.
I'm doing the wedding speech, so I'm sort of like the best man and the best woman's friends with both of them, actually.
Don't realise that there's a shortage of mature actors. People, especially in their 50s, 60s, even 70s, there just aren't any actors. And because people largely give up, it's a tough business and they've got to earn a living. So most people sort of give up before they're 30. Not many people come back to it. So there's possibly a future for them as actors, who knows, from Chorlton to Hollywood.
Oh, Bernard, you look really sexy there. Love the green knitting. Very good.
This was the next performance we did, which was Snowed in January 2019. And Susan was in this one.
Oh, was I?
Yep.
Was I in it?
No, but you came in the next one. And I think there's another picture of me there. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
As you can see, I was the cat stealer in this.
Right, yeah.
And I managed to keep all the cats I'd stolen in the cellar of the pub we were all snowed up in Chorlton. And then I was eventually discovered and arrested for what I'd done. But it required me to dress up a bit, as you can see. How I went from not getting involved in drama to doing that in one step, I don't know. But
you're talented, obviously.
it was very good fun. It was very good fun.
Well, that's what it should
This is about what happened when we took this production to home.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Do that one.
Oh, who's that?
Who's that glamorous lady there?
Very glamorous.
It's a hat that did it.
To have got that hat.
Yes, of course. It's a winter hat.
Oh, there's Susan.
What an experience. Wow.
Oh, look at Susan now. Oh. Not you, Susan, the other Sue.
Oh, you can see that was quite an experience for us. If you remember that, Susan.
Yes. Yeah, I can't remember enough of it. I can remember being there, but I can't remember the.
You were the
you know,
landlady.
the story. Yeah. What was I? I can't remember.
You was rather typecast as the landlady with a
Was I?
stentorian voice to keep everybody under control.
Oh, right.
It was very good. And it was a real experience, that actually performing it on a stage.
On stage, absolutely, Bernard.
Is really quite remarkable.
The sound would be so much better.
Yeah. The next one was called Death. Now, what happened after this is on the first two, Nakib did a rough outline of what the play was, and then we filled in bits on it. After that, it got a bit more vague. Everybody just chipped in with the idea of what they wanted to do. And this is for me where it didn't become quite as good, because what I've found is when you've got a group of people who like doing humorous things, you end up every time with farce.
Yes.
Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but I was just getting a bit fed up of it by this time, I think. But this one was called Death at the Seaside, and there's me with a policeman's helmet on. I can't remember what I did at all then.
Yeah, I remember that one.
But I think probably this is the last one I took part in, because I thought I just wanted to move on from doing this sort of thing. But they're all very well received. And what we do to make sure that we've got a good audience is that we perform at the coffee morning at Good Neighbours, when around about 80 people always turn up anyway.
Yes.
We interrupt them having a conversation with each other by doing a performance, which works out very well. Okay.
See Susan and Christy.
I don't remember being in this.
All right. Well, let's.
You were in this.
Please sit back, relax, and enjoy our little spring production.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
And dreaming of his future and piles of wealth. But next door, a man of straw comes in and makes his cue. But I can't rhyme words of gummidge, so this will have to do. Excuse me, I want to buy this.
It's not been priced yet, sorry.
Oh,
Hello, sir. What's your name? Where's the going's your name? Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
Christine.
All right.
You look terrific, Christine.
Yeah, their makeup's very good.
No,
a jolly little folly, where a man of straw and not much brains weds a pretty painted dolly. From isle to isle their journey through, they leave this message sure and true. Beware when charity you do show, in case there comes a low scare through. Or a wedded doll, all gloss aglow, and now, adieu! We all must go.
Brilliant.
That bell got on my nerves, that bell kept dropping off.
Do you like that, Christine and Susan?
Yes, thank you.
You didn't realise I had all these these videos, did you?
No, I'm glad you have.
Well, that was based on Wurzel Gummidge. One thing they always seem to do is to have really good music. I'd never heard of the Tennessee Wig Walk, but it's a fabulous. And finally, we come on to Parklife, which is the one that was last Thursday, September the 29th.
Yes.
Now, the interesting thing about this one is, rather than it just being like a farce, a pure comedy, it actually relates to a real issue, which is about which I think in Manchester is really happening, which is the reductions of green space and the privatization of green space. Though they don't talk about it in those terms. It's about saving a park that's under threat of closure from turning it into a golf course. Again, both this one and the one before were coordinated by Peter Gibson, who he's a very good trainer. He's if you look him up, he's done an awful lot of acting and producing himself, and he lives locally. And he just does allow people to develop, but also to keep it under control. Whereas I thought a bit previously it was getting a little bit vague what was going on. It was very hard to reach decisions, but he's very good at actually getting people to decide on which line they're going to take. Oh, there's another picture of it.
Pete and I coordinate the Chorlton Good Neighbours drama group. Now I say coordinate, those guys backstage are the ones who do all the work. Without any further ado, I present to you Parklife by the drama group from the Chorlton Good Neighbours. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. My name is Susan de Blues from the Chorlton News. And I am in the park on a red hot super scoop. Apparently, they are going to axe the park and shut it down completely and turn the area into a golf course. I'm all ready to find out what the local people think of this big change in the area when we might just have a golf course instead of a nice park. So, what are you doing here?
I come here every day. I don't know where else to go.
That's extremely sad.
I come here for company. I live in a tiny, freezing basement.
Is it warmer here?
Yes, it is. It's warmer than in my flat.
That's very sad.
Do you want it yet?
Well, I will. No, thank you. I don't fancy a chair.
Nothing in the world. Okay, read that in the paper. Right. Well, my name's Margaret Cracken.
Yes.
And my address is the past.
So what is your address?
Who are you?
I'm from the local paper. They're going to close this park. I don't know where to play it.
I know you're a reporter, but I'm wagging it because my mum's strong. I've just come out of prison after 15 years. And settled to pay for a murder. A murder in this park over there.
Oh dear.
Oh, I don't believe this.
What?
I don't believe it. That is the girl that set me up, her family.
Oh, God.
No, I am. You've just waited for me to come out the prison. Oh, yes, you do. We show family. to need this part in their life every single day. Now, they came together, they stood together, they supported each other. They made a community. I obey the law, but in this instance, I'm going to join the protest. And this is what I think of my cat.
Well done, you look as though you had a wonderful time.
It was marvellous.
Yeah, it's the whole thing's been really good. And I just think it is very, very democratic the way it's run. So yeah, what did you think, Christine?
Well, just act silly and enjoy it. Yeah, yeah.
You, Susan?
Well, I feel this. It's a pity that the acoustics aren't better in the church hall, but of course all church halls are the same.
You've got a brilliant voice, Susan. You have a really good voice that really carries, which is excellent.
Yeah, I couldn't hear myself very well on that recording, mind you. So I thought, oh well, I thought my voice was good, but I'm going to have to do a bit of practicing.
Anybody else got any comments?
I thought the lady at the end who sang had an extraordinary voice.
Louise, yes, she was brilliant.
Oh yes, she has. She sings wonderfully.
I mean, in a way,
Absolutely
it didn't kind of
wonderfully.
entirely fit in, but it didn't matter, did it? It just gave a fantastic ending.
And she is on the shy side as well. She is shy.
Really?
Oh yes. As a thing,
What did anybody who don't know Chorlton Good Neighbours? What was your view? Yeah, Bill.
Yeah, it's just fantastic. I mean, it's what you were saying. We've got to forget about trying to make comparisons with, you know, the profession or whatever you want to call it. It's just brilliant seeing people come together and do things, but not just come together and do things because someone's telling them what to do, but they're all coming together, devising things together, sharing their skills, and it's just brilliant, Bernard. But one thing I did think while you were doing that is that without your having recorded it, no one would have known.
Yeah.
Well,
that's true.
No one knows about the Elders productions, do they? Because they're never recorded.
No.
Well, it's and we shouldn't think, oh well, no one's going to be interested. But it was just brilliant, Bernard. Thanks for sharing.
Yes, very good. It was excellent.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yes, Jackie, quickly, it's last minute. Go on, Jackie.
I think it's obviously very successful. I mean, the huge number of people there says it all, doesn't it? People wouldn't be there and joining in if they weren't having fun. And I think it's a fantastic enterprise. Sorry, I don't live near her.